Today we're looking at the Nerf Fortnite hunting rifle, also known as the Nerf Fortnight HR. This is a bolt action magazine accepting blaster that comes with a magazine with 6 rounds. Features an end strike barrel that you can remove, a comically short stock, and a really slick paint job. Look at how shiny this thing is. Now, when I first saw this blaster, I really thought it was a lot bigger, but as you can see, it's actually pretty small. I mean, it almost feels like a pistol, which to me doesn't really ring true to the word hunting rifle. When I think of a hunting rifle, I think of something that's a lot bigger and longer. Plus, a lot of hunting rifles don't actually have like a pistol grip like that. Now, I don't play Fortnite, so I'm not sure if this is actually what the hunting rifle looks like in the game, but when I hear the word hunting rifle, I kind of think of something that's more of a rifle back here, not something that actually has like a pistol grip. So I don't know. I'll go ahead and place an image from the in-game hunting rifle and we can compare the two. So let's start off by running down what comes in the package. Like I said earlier, you get a in-strike barrel attachment, you get the blaster, and then of course you get the magazine with 6 darts. And that's pretty much it. There's no extra darts, no extra magazines, and no in-strike attachment back here, so that's unfortunate. So how does it work? Well, this is a springer, so there's a spring that gets compressed in there and you prime it by pulling back the bolt, which is pretty interesting. I like that. Put the magazine in there and then you're able to fire the blaster. Has a good little pop to it. It's also really cool to note, this thing does have slam fire. However, actuating it with a, because I'm right-handed, that's kind of interesting. I don't know how you can do that. I guess I'll have to demonstrate with my left hand, but basically you pull down the trigger and you can just empty your clip. So that's fun. For all you left-handed users out there, that's a pretty cool feature. And that leads us to our next section, performance. How does this blaster perform? So we do have an indoor 50-foot range here, and what we found was we ended up having to move closer to target, about 30 feet, and then we could actually kind of tag stuff. But right out of the package, this thing is not getting accurate tags at 50 feet, especially with those horrible elite darts. Elite darts are just not good darts. If you have the option, get yourself some Adventure Force waffles or some type of waffle dart. They will treat you much better. Now, if you can't get a hold of a waffle dart, maybe you can get a hold of an AccuStrike dart. Those are also really good. The downside to this blaster, as we can demonstrate here with the chronograph readings, we can see this blaster is kind of mediocre in the FPS department. Now, for a standard Nerf Hasbro-made blaster, these FPS numbers aren't too bad, but it's kind of strange because in this day and age, we have stuff from Dart Zone and X-Shot and even Busby, which has a much higher FPS than standard Nerf blasters. So keep that in mind. So as I hold this blaster, I immediately think, the pistol grip, very adequate. However, that stock right here just feels out of place. It's just too short and too weird. And this is the point I want to drive home because, okay, let's say this blaster is made for kids, right? Which it is, it's for kids. This pistol grip is for a very large hand. I don't understand how that and this exist on the same blaster. Now, if you're gonna have a blaster for kids, make this smaller and then this makes sense. But if you're gonna have a pistol grip that big, if you have this size hand, you don't have this size for shoulder. Like, it just doesn't make sense either way. I can't argue it one way or the other. So in the end, you just have a strange looking back end of a blaster. I think this could all be resolved if Hasbro just made it an in-strike attachment point, because then we could just put whatever we want on there and correct this issue. So I'm not a big fan of this area. Next up, we have the front of the blaster, or the barrel. I think this is pretty cool. It's very unique. I don't see any other in-strike attachment barrels that look like this. I mean, it's definitely gonna fit in some build or some integration or something that would make it look really cool. Usually I don't like Fortnite barrels, but this one, I can tolerate it. It's got enough interesting aesthetics to make it look kind of cool, and I think it would actually paint up pretty nice. Now, the bolt action functionality of it, I actually like. I think that looks really nice. Performs pretty well, the prime's nice. You have this clearing chamber up here, which is actually pretty small, but it still gives you enough to work with, so that's fine. Mag release and trigger seem good. They're in good positions. Once again, this is for an adult size hand, so I'm not sure how a child's hand will, be able to really do all this stuff. So still, once again, kind of strange how they made all this large, full size, and then everything else kind of comically small. Now, me personally, do I like this blaster? Besides its strange, design features on it, I think it's pretty cool. It does have a pug-looking Fortnite character, which, you know, anyone who's watched my channel will know that I do have a pug. I'm a pug dad. Love my little pug. His name is Jake. And when I saw this blaster with the Fortnite pug character, I was like, oh, that's cool. Reminded me of my dog. So in that regard, I think it's cool. Me personally, I don't play Fortnite, so some of the Fortnite blasters don't really get me excited, but there are some out there that have some cool looks to them. I think this one is all right. This can be addressed and fixed, so I think if that were to be elongated or a new stock put on it, I think it'd look pretty cool. And to demonstrate what I'm talking about here, we have a part that we're gonna kind of tease. This is a stock that we're working on, but as you can see, you know, this blaster would actually be a lot better if you could have a full-length stock on it. I think that looks way better. So we'll have to figure out how to put an in-strike attachment point on here. This is just one of many products that we will be offering here at the lab. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, join our, you know, we have Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok. You know, make sure you're following what we're doing because it's about to be some really cool stuff coming out. So in summary or in closing, can I recommend the Nerf Fortnight HR? I think, you know, if you've got plans to do some type of integration or do something with it, sure. I mean, just keep in mind, if you're looking for that high-powered precision tagger, probably stay away from this guy. But if you're looking for a particular type of barrel attachment and, you know, if you're really into bolt actions, which I am, I think it is worth picking up. The Nerf Fortnight HR is definitely not a game changer, but it's definitely worth checking out, maybe picking up if you like how it looks. Well, I'm DrFlux. I want to thank you for watching today's video. If you like what we do here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can see when we make new content. As always, be safe and happy foam flinging.